Well, there was a bit of an issue for me because when I was watching it, I was a bit of a dum-dum. The logo came up and I was like, oh, that's the end. So I skipped forward because I was a few hours back, I was getting to the press conference. I was like, oh, I've gone too far. I've got to go back. They kind of montage what happened through the night. I got to that and I was like, oh, I'll watch this bit again because I like these bits. And then it ended with CM Punk's face. I was like, what? Was that a mistake? I need to go back.
Scheduling's a real bitch, boys and girls, and here's why. Last couple weeks, we've been missing in action, mainly because we can't all be in the same place at the same time. Because, let's see, in America, we're having holidays like Thanksgiving, which they don't celebrate over in jolly old England. They also...
Naturally.
Yeah.
Weird if we did.
They also don't call soccer, they call it football, like it rightfully should and is everywhere else in the freaking world. By the way,
we call it a game where you use your feet primarily, football. That's what we do.
And we call a game where we throw the ball.
Hey man, but you guys playing that, we play rugby, which is basically the same game, but you guys are smart enough to wear pads and helmets, so you still beat us in that sense as well, though. I'll give you that one.
This is true, but I gotta be honest, rugby's more fun.
I still don't understand it. I used to play it and I still don't understand it.
I've watched a lot of rugby. Rugby's fun as hell. Anyway,
welcome
to Wrestling with Egos, boys and girls. If you're stateside, we hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you're not stateside, then we hope the last couple weeks have been wonderful for you. We hope you guys ate well. Because we're on the U.S. side, we were all gluttonous, horrible animals. Because, 'tis the season for gluttony, fa la 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 la.
Just so you know, though, if anyone ever makes a point about Americans being like obese, because that's always a thing, isn't it? You are only the 14th most obese country in the world.
Who's number one?
It was, what's it called? The Cook Islands. 55% of the people are overweight. Are obese, morbidly obese.
Wow. Hey.
Yeah.
Well, at least we're not number one at something horrible.
There you go.
Don't get me started. Anyway,
you're number one in stupid American presidents, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah, very much so.
Weirdly.
And let's be honest, Americans. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. We've got one for each side. Anyway, moving right along. Politics do not belong on Wrestling with Egos.
Oh, I was about to get into a whole politics thing, then I stopped myself because I was like, no wrestling.
No, we do not do that. I will exit stage left off this sumbitch real quick. My name's Patrick, and I'm joined this week by my fellow Birminghamian, just from different parts of the world. Birmingham, England, Birmingham, Alabama. Close enough. My boy Kd, how are you, good sir?
I am very good, actually. I was tired earlier. It was one of them. I woke up really early. I had a good sleep, but I woke up early for me. So, I've had a long day. And I was getting really tired. And then just over the last hour or so, I've just really perked up. So
nice.
Yeah, well.
Ought to make for an interesting show because I have been tired all freaking week. The weather has drastically changed here in Cleveland, Ohio, and we've been dealing with snow.
Oh, we're getting snow in a few days. We've been dealing with super duper icy cold weather. Actually, for us, what's it been for you guys though? Because I bet yours is worse.
The lowest the temperature got. Now, keep in mind, it's Fahrenheit versus Celsius, and I don't know how to do that math. The low here was 22 degrees Fahrenheit, which is below freezing.
Was it 20?
22 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius.
-5. Wow, that's cold then. It's been about -3 here, so that's going to be like 26 or something.
Yeah, somewhere like that. I'm good.
Fair enough. Okay.
Good to know.
We just complain.
Good to know that the weather's comparable in Cleveland and Birmingham.
Yeah, but it's all Birmingham. Birmingham's the same everywhere, isn't it? Really. We've all got crappy weather. We've all got too much rubbish on the streets, and we've all got a big problem with crackheads. Birmingham.
Yes, and that's definitely Cleveland. I will say this: Birmingham, Alabama, does not have many days below freezing.
Ooh.
Cold for the state of Alabama is in the low 40s.
Oh wow, no.
But it's
Screw
also
that.
but it's also a lot more humid. Which
That's bad if it's freezing.
Dude. Winters down south, growing up there, winters down south weren't necessarily bad. What was bad was summer.
But is in too hot.
95 degrees, but with the humidity, it felt closer to like 110. And just literally,
wow.
your shirt would just stick to you because you'd walk outside and the air is just so thick because it just being humid and damp and muggy.
Yeah.
I remember I came up here. I was in college and I flew up here to spend a week. It was spring break with the kiddos. The lady that ended up being the kiddos' mom.
With your ex-lady partner.
Yeah, with my ex, yes. And it was here in Cleveland. We're talking mid-April. It was 60s, 70s, just sometimes in the 50s. It was beautiful. I flew back at the end of the week. It was 91 and humid, and I stepped out of the airport in Birmingham, Alabama, and it felt like that scene in Total Recall when they get exposed to the Martian air, and they're all just like, It felt like that.
You felt like what I've been experiencing lately, like with a scene from a film, is more comparable to, the scene from Cool Runnings, when they go out and they're like, "Oh, it's cold, man." Run back in and put every single lady on. "Why are you shaking? I'm still cold." And then he kisses his lucky egg man. That racist? No, that's not.
No, Cool Runnings is not racist. Cool Runnings is freaking awesome. So anyway, we've been chatting about random crap for way too long. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Two different topics.
Let's stop chatting about random crap and let's talk about other random crap.
Yes, like wrestling. Got a couple of different topics tonight that Kd and I are gonna discuss. They're both gonna be a little bit fun. So Kd and Brian have had this idea for the last several weeks, but we've just never been able to do the show of the best never say never moments in wrestling.
That was a different one that you're on about, because this one only came from CM Punk, which has literally only happened within the last week.
So. Yeah, very apropos that we're doing that because, I mean, talk about a cold day in hell.
Yeah. Can we talk about that quickly first, though?
Yeah, and then as we get into the next topic, we'll just talk about that. So right now, that's going to be a surprise for you guys, but I promise it'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So let me ask you. Let me ask your honest opinion. Just instant snap reaction. The first notes of Cult of Personality play. What's going through your mind? Like that instant reaction.
Well, there was a bit of an issue for me. This is the thing, because when I was watching it, I was a bit of a dum-dum, and the logo came up, and I was like, "Oh, that's the end." So I skipped forward because I was a few hours back, So I skipped to the press conference, and then I was getting to the press conference. I was like, "Oh, I've gone too far. I've got to go back." And then I realised I got to the bit, where they kind of montage what happened through the night. I got to that, and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch this bit again because I like these bits." And then it ended with CM Punk's face, and I was like, What? Was that a mistake? I need to go back. So.
Yeah. So
it still felt just as powerful hitting it, to be honest, because it felt like I didn't know.
I can imagine. I didn't expect it because I'm like, okay, if they're going to do it, they're going to crawfish us, and they're not going to give us Randy Orton. They're going to give us CM Punk instead.
Yeah.
So Orton came out, and I'm like, all right, cool. They're not going to do it. Everybody's happy.
They even teased it because he didn't come out. Did he right away?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, he hadn't got there. That was it. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, he hadn't got there before the match started.
Right. So his music hit, and I've made no bones about it. I'm not a fan of the guy. I haven't been a fan of the guy.
Punk.
Yeah, we're talking about Punk. Yeah. I haven't been a fan of the guy, hell, maybe ever. He's a great wrestler, but he's also a douchebag.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
So I'm just like, so my reaction was, oh, son of a bitch.
Like you had to get a bit into it though at one point when he came out, or just the shock, the excitement of it though. Surely.
Oh, it was. It was, the shock and the excitement of it. Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be great for the wrestling business, but on a personal level, I can't stand the guy.
I mean, that's the issue though, is it? Isn't it? Is it going to be? I mean, most of us, me personally, I'm fine with it all. I'm just waiting for it.
In theory, it's supposed to be good for the wrestling business. I
do think he'll be better behaved in WWE because, I mean, apparently it's been written into his contract. I don't really believe that. I don't see how you could really write that into a contract myself.
Here's my thing. He's going to be well behaved because this is his last shot. If he screws the pooch on this one, game over.
Mm-hmm. And let's be honest as well, WWE though, if somebody gets into a fight backstage, that's happened a lot, and they will have more the opinion of, okay, let's sit down and talk about it afterwards and try and air it out at least. That will be forced to happen. Otherwise, either party, that'll be it, like straight away then.
Right, and let's be honest, there's also people in that locker room that can straighten the situation out themselves.
Oh, yes. Punk is not the toughest man by far in that locker room anymore.
No, I mean, just ask Mickey Gall or Mike Jackson in the UFC how tough Phil Brooks is.
Did you see Matt Riddle's tweet about it?
Oh, screw that. That's another guy that can go screw off.
That's why it was hilarious. He was like, "Oh, something about bringing in a someone with a two fight loss. Is it 0-2? Yeah, 0-2 record." And then the first comment on it, or like the most liked one, was something about like at least he's got a perfect record against drug tests, something like that.
I kind of have a feeling this is going to be a dig at the fact that Matt Riddle can't pass a drug test. But for me, it was a lot of, damn it, he's back. I don't like the guy. I'm not really excited to see him back. And then the next thing was, son of a bitch, I can't believe they did it.
Yeah.
Like, they actually brought him back.
Still got that now, man. It's surreal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little weird. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from there, and that's actually part of what we're going to talk about toward the end of the show. How would you book WWE from now until WrestleMania?
Yeah, I cut you off with that. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I suddenly thought about it.
Oh, whatever. We cut each other off on the show all the time. Who gives a shit? But that got us thinking in terms of other, never say never, what the hell kind of, hell freezing over kind of moments.
Because was that arguably that was something I wanted to ask you. Is that arguably the biggest never say never moment? Like the one out of anything now that could be something that we're like, that could never happen. That's got to be one of the biggest ones, surely, to happen now.
Now, yes. I've got a very small list of some that have happened in history that I'm shocked that they happened, and these are in no particular order. I'm actually saving my favorite one for dead last because I'm just very biased on this one. But the first one that comes to mind is WWE bringing in Eric Bischoff.
Yeah. That was crazy.
I will never forget watching that Monday Night Raw, and Booker T freezes and Bischoff walks into the frame, and I'm literally, I don't remember exactly what I was drinking, but it was a lot like this.
I don't remember how that happened now, because I was thinking you were talking about obviously when he the one everyone always remembers when he came onto the entranceway, got introduced as a GM. But he'd popped up before that, hadn't he?
Yes, he popped up right before they went to commercial break. Like, we're going to commercial break. Vince is going to make the announcement of who the new general manager is. And Jonathan Coachman was interviewing Booker T about something, and Booker T stops in mid-sentence. Bischoff walks in. He's like, "Hey, Booker, good to see you." He reaches down and grabs Booker's hand and shakes it and walks off. And then Booker, right before they cut the commercial, "Tell me I did not just see that." Because, at that time he was saying a lot of, "Tell me you didn't just say that."
Yeah. Oh, so I don't remember that at all, which is because I was about to say then, it's surprising then, because that feels like that would just totally ruin the surprise, but I don't even remember that.
Oh, nobody does.
No.
But because it happened so quick, and then it was just cut to commercial.
Yeah.
And I remember for the next 3 minutes just going, "No, no." And then Vince is up there, "His name is Eric Bischoff." And here's the one thing that everybody forgets. He had his theme music, the whole "I'm back."
Yeah.
That wasn't the song he came out to on his first night.
Was it some generic, like, crappy song?
What
was it?
It was the exact opposite of a generic crappy song. It was "Back in Black" by AC/DC.
Oh, what? How? Why?
The first night he came back, he came out to "Back in Black."
I bet he had like one left play of the song left or something from some licensing he did ages ago. One left.
Yeah, probably so.
That's amazing. I didn't realise that at all. No, that's crazy though that didn't ruin it. And I was a lot younger, so obviously that one for me wasn't as impactful as I didn't quite get, because I didn't watch WCW either, so I didn't even really get who that was at first.
And that was why that one hits home for me so much. I didn't realize I had my camera up then. I am. Why that one hit home.
You could see the nice belts. It was fine.
Because I was very much all about WCW. I was watching both. I mean, I make no bones about it, especially growing up in the South. By the way, since I now have stuff on the walls here in Studio 1C, quick little tour. Obviously, my copy of the NXT Tag Team title belts that our good friends RJ gave to myself and Brian.
Oh, and wow. Jeez.
And over here's my little college corner, a football from the 1992 National Championship team at Jacksonville State University, my alma mater. And next to that is my degree and a picture of me right after I graduated that a friend of mine snapped. And even though you can't see it right here, just above that are my Funko Pops and a Superman action figure that a former work colleague gave me. God rest that friend's soul.
Never been removed from box?
Nope.
Hey, that's what I like.
Yep.
Fellow geek, I like it.
And my two Funko Pops were both gifts from Brian. There's a Captain America and the Undertaker.
I can't believe it. I didn't know that, because obviously I know you guys have both got those belts, but I didn't know they were gifted to you by RJ. Like, that's a great thing to give someone.
Well, see, RJ is a belt collector, and RJ on some site that he's done a lot of business with.
Didn't you say he got another lot of them or something?
Yeah. Well, he won a raffle and or won something on this website, and he was like, "Hey, you got two tag belts?" "Yeah." "Why?" "I won them." So he got them for free because he won them, and gave one to Brian and one to me.
Oh, banging! That's awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Very nice man. And a very nice man.
Funny thing is, he got these for us 3 weeks before COVID hit. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, it was the Christmas before. It was Christmas of 19.
Yeah.
And we just, because of just life and kids and everything else, we hadn't been able to link up, because generally RJ, Brian, and I didn't usually do anything together until spring and summer, because we always played golf together. So Brian, RJ was like,
Sport of Kings.
Yeah, exactly. RJ was like, "I'll give you guys the belt on our first golf outing. All good." And then COVID happened. So we went a year without getting with RJ holding on to these things. And I actually went and played golf with RJ, a couple summers ago, or maybe last summer. And RJ brought them both. He was like, "Hey, you'll see Brian before I will. Give him the damn thing."
Fair.
So
that's fun. That's so cool.
Oh yeah, no, these totally came from RJ. So another, we talked about, my big hell freezes over moment. What's the first one on your list?
Oh, let me pull it up. If you got another one on hand while I find the list again, then go ahead.
Yeah, actually.
You got one that comes to mind? Shoot.
Yeah, I do, because this guy was, after he left WWE for decades, was so freaking critical. Actually, no, I'll take that one back. No, I was going to go Bruno Sammartino, but I got one even better. The Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, that one's on my list.
And for me, it's more depressing now than anything else, because that was the relationship between Warrior and Vince was so toxic and become so bad. And then Triple H mends those fences going into WrestleMania 30. Warrior's inducted into the Hall of Fame, and 3 days later, he's dead.
Yeah, it comes out like talking about like your heart. It's like that promo almost that he knew. Like, I'm not saying that he did, but I'm just saying it was almost like somebody instinctively,
Yeah, it was very prophetic.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Huh? Oh, prophetic.
Prophetic.
Yeah. I thought, that's a bit hard. Calling it pathetic.
Not pathetic. Not pathetic. Prophetic.
So I personally, I get what you're saying when you say like depressing, but I also think of it more in the opposite way, because it's kind of beautiful. Like they managed to do that.
It is, but at the same time, it's just like, man, we had all those years of negativity, and we finally get to celebrate the Warrior being back in the good graces of WWE, and he's inducted into the Hall of Fame, and oh wow, I can't wait to see what else we do with the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
And then he's dead.
You know what though? At the same time, without it saying mean though, without that happening, the good grace might not be there still, because a lot of people weren't aware of a lot of stuff he'd said, a lot of the opinions he has, a lot of things, whereas his kind of, his last outing, just his last thing, it was perfect, perfect send-off without knowing it was a send-off, if you know what I mean.
Right. This is very true.
But it was still a thing that, like with the overall topic though, it was a thing that we never thought would happen.
No.
I forget the actual exact story, how it happened, because it was before, obviously, like, it was back before I was really interested in the initial stuff. What was it again?
Triple H, just, was like, hey, he needs to be on the Hall of Fame. What do we got to do?
No, I mean, what he did wrong, sorry, originally, what happened between him and Vince.
On multiple occasions, he held Vince up for money.
Yeah.
I'm in the main event of SummerSlam, and I'm not going out unless you give me $250,000.
Was that the one where he cancelled the check?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. They cut him a check. He went out and did the match, because it was Sergeant Slaughter, General Adnan, and Colonel Mustafa, aka the Iron Sheik, against Hogan and Warrior, with Sid Vicious as referee. And as soon as the Warrior chases Adnan and Mustafa back to the back with a chair, Vince is waiting on him and was like, by the way, you're fired.
Good man. So back when Vince, the version of Vince that we like more, the take no shit kind of Vince. That was the version of Vince we like more, I think.
Yeah. So
or just not as much has come out.
What's something on your list?
Okay. Like there's a few ones like that actually. As soon as you mention Ultimate Warrior, like there's a few people like that have come back that we never thought would come back like that, come back into the family, like CM Punk as well. Like Bret Hart, it's a huge one. Him coming out, shaking hands with Shawn Michaels, shaking hands with...
He hugged Shawn. But for me, that one gets wrecked a little bit because Brett has turned into such a bitter asshole.
Turned. Like, I suppose, yeah, at some point he must have. Would that be more towards Goldberg from what I've seen, though? That was more like posted with CW, wasn't it?
All the above. I mean, he's just bitter about everything. But yeah, he's bitter about Goldberg, and he's got every damn right to be bitter about Goldberg.
No, it's like they say, not ballet. Accidents happen.
You're right, but I mean, we've seen Goldberg damn near kill more than one person,
including himself.
Yeah,
actually multiple times.
Yeah, so I mean, let's be honest. Brett's got an honest beef when it comes to Bill Goldberg. I mean, other people not so much, but Goldberg, yeah.
I mean, Brett at least never had that's the crazy thing though, because even Brett he never had a any kind of lawsuit against him. I don't think Warrior did. I assume. Well, no, was it something about a comic book or was that WCW?
Yeah, no, he had a there was plenty of litigation between WWE and Warrior.
Oh, okay then.
There was never any legal issues between Brett and Vince. But it was definitely Owen's family and Vince. But anyway, that's a different story for a different time.
Going with them as well, just one of the last ones with that, like other people that you would actually more as a WCW person as well class this as a never say never moment. I didn't at the time. I get it more now. Sting when he appeared in WWE.
That one to me wasn't a never say never. That one to me, that was gonna happen at some point.
Okay,
Sting was too big of an icon in WCW to not do something. I mean, especially when Triple H started to get his hands into the company, and he mended fences between Vince and Bruno Sammartino. He mended fences between Warrior and Vince. And then there's discussions that, hey, Sting might be talking to WWE. I'm like, well, that's a given. He's going into the Hall of Fame. Looky there.
They have an amazing match with Triple H at WrestleMania.
It
wasn't terrible at all.
That match had a lot of things wrong with it, but god damn, that match was fun.
What are you talking about? It was DX versus Sting and his longtime best friends at DNWO.
Well, what are you talking about? Sting was an NWO member.
Well, he wasn't at the Wolfpack.
He was a member of the Wolfpack, baby.
Yeah. That was the one I did know. The Wolfpack were cool as shit, I thought, when I saw them.
I was like, Wolfpack was freaking awesome, dude. Imagine going to a Nitros. First off, Nitros during the Monday Night War were fun.
Yeah.
So I got one more, and I was saving this one for last. This was a hell freezing over kind of moment for a completely different reason. Because he wasn't supposed to come back.
Oh, okay. It's not where I thought you would go. Oh, okay. Okay.
No way in hell was that supposed to happen.
Very true. Yeah.
And yeah, there were rumblings of it going into the Royal Rumble in 2020. But I'm sorry. As a guy who lists Edge as one of his 3 all-time favorites, when that song hit, I'm in a puddle because I'm instantly just crying.
It was amazing.
He's not supposed to be back.
Mm-hmm.
His neck's broke. He's not, and he hits that ring at 100 miles an hour and spears everybody in sight. And I'm just like,
he speared AJ out of his shoulder.
Really, but just that was an emotional moment because that's hell is really freezing over because medically this shouldn't be happening.
And he was one of the first big ones, I think, wasn't he? To come back like that from because there's been a wave with him now, hasn't there? Because of medical science is freaking amazing.
Bryan Danielson came back first.
Yeah, but he wasn't quite as bad, though, was he?
Oh, concussions.
Yeah, it was concussions and stuff that was more like a lot of people had cleared him. A lot of different people. It's just WWE more than anything seemed nervous. It seemed for a lot of time.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put that on the same level.
Yeah, he was one of those. But I mean, the other big one is Saraya. Saraya coming back because Saraya's neck was hamburger as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, both of them coming back, but Edge was the first. And let's be honest, Edge was the one that was the most beloved because.
Wait, you say that?
Hang on now. Comparatively speaking, when the artist formerly known as Paige retired and said her farewells, Paige didn't have nearly the impact on the business.
Oh no,
that Adam Copeland did. And whether or not he was a heel or a face, Edge had and still has a lot of fans.
See, I agree with you, but there's still one name that I think trumps that. When maybe a bigger Never Say Never moment, which I'm still kind of shocked to happened, was Stone Cold being cleared and coming back to the ring. It still happened. He was cleared.
Yeah.
He's still cleared. I don't know if he'll ever do a match again, but
you're talking about the match a couple of years ago with Owens.
Yeah, I mean, he was fully cleared for it, though, and
you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, and that's I did forget about that one. That one's another.
It doesn't feel the same because at the same time, I can understand why, because Edge has done it to a different level, though. He's full time again, and now he's in AEW doing a higher level, really, of wrestling because they do have much,
Austin was a one-off, and we all knew it. Edge was a surprise, and it's like, oh crap, he's back.
Yeah, I can understand the difference. To be fair, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do have one still though that I'm really surprised you haven't said, which I'll keep till the end. So I've got one more, which
I don't have any more. So if that's the last one, go for it.
Well, I'll do two because there's one before it. I don't know if I'd say never, but to be honest, I never thought it would happen, and it shouldn't have happened. It was one of them bad never say never moments. We didn't think it would happen. Shawn Michaels coming back to the ring. I didn't think it would ever happen, and it shouldn't have.
I don't know if I should cover my eyes or cover my ears on this one. Oh my God. But you're talking about that match with DX versus Undertaker and Kane at Crown Jewel or Australia or whatever it was.
Crown Jewel.
Dear sweet mother of God, that was bad.
It was amazing. What are you on about? That was one of my favourite matches I've ever seen.
No, it was so
level of things that can go wrong in a match.
It was so. Isn't that the one that Hunter absolutely obliterated his pec in?
Yeah, very early in the match. And his partner, who hasn't done it forever, to be fair, carried that whole thing.
Speaking of never say never moments, never in a million years did I ever think I would see someone with that kind of injury wrestle a full-blown Hell in the Cell match.
That was just craziness. That was. But okay, I got the never say never moment that we never thought would happen, but obviously never say never. Undertaker losing the streak.
Oh my God.
End of the goddamn streak, man. It's still talked about whether it was planned or anything.
So you know how when we have these topics on these shows, and there's always that one moment where someone looks at the question differently. There you go.
Yeah.
Because, never say never moments. Someone comes back, someone returns after mended fences, blah, 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 blah. Not a booking decision.
Still now, I mean, it's. I think it's better that Roman didn't get the win than Brock, at least. I actually prefer that Brock had it because he did go on to put some people over,
Looking back on it, I'm still not a huge fan of the decision. I still wish that Undertaker would have, you know, would have, honestly, I wish they would have done it where the Undertaker just rode off into the sunset undefeated.
Same. I always thought that would be how it would be. I bet my hair on it like for years.
Yeah, I mean, given the choice between Brock or Roman, especially Roman then, I would have gone Brock a million times over, because Brock and Paul Heyman used that to generate so much heat, and they did it beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
Roman just sucked. Yeah. He was a vacuum at that point in his career. Now, if you were to tell me, hey, Patrick, going into WrestleMania in Hollywood, instead of Roman versus Cody, we're thinking about Roman versus Undertaker in what's probably going to be the Undertaker's last match, then fuck yes, beat the streak. Because that would have just that would have taken, the tribal chief and that run to just at a stratospheric level.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm here. I'm with you. Yeah, that would have made. Yeah,
if we're talking like tribal chief Roman beating the streak, then shut up and take my money.
The only thing I hate about Roman now is the fact that he's not on the telly enough.
Oh yeah, no,
that says a lot about the performer, though. At least,
Well, not just that. No, it doesn't say. No, I don't think it really says a lot about the performer. I think it says a lot about the contract.
No. I mean, in a good way. I meant as in like the fact that we at least want to see him more. Yeah, how good he's doing. Yeah. But yeah, screw that damn contract. I hate his contract.
Oh yeah,
he shouldn't have the belt.
And it's about in my opinion, we don't have much longer.
Hopefully Daddy's home to take the belt away from him, which I'm sure will be the case. But let's talk about what will happen up until Mania.
Yes, great segue there, Kd. Thank you. So as here we are, the beginning of December, and let's be honest, even though the road to WrestleMania, they say begins at the Royal Rumble. No, it begins right now, because now we got to build up to the Rumble.
Exactly.
So the road to WrestleMania begins as soon as War Games is over with. By the way, that was a great freaking War Games.
That was, yeah.
That was a great War Games. The women's match was just vicious.
Yeah.
It was vicious. And the men's match was just great storytelling.
Oh, wait. Before we get onto that, though, just a quick little tangent. Talk about a vicious match. My God, did you see the death match between Swerve and Hangman? Oh, that was great. But you could feel the shock in the arena when Hangman...
It was disturbing.
It was. And the whole place was disturbed, you could tell, but you just couldn't look away.
I mean, damn it. And guys, I watched ECW live, pay-per-views. I saw ECW at its worst. Yeah. And that made me uncomfortable.
It wasn't even a lot of it like, I mean, the stapler, like, that's not even, we know that's not going to do any lasting damage, but It doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't.
And honestly, it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it, because I saw New Jack do that shit all the time.
But he's messed his head.
It's just like, ugh. I mean, I saw New Jack use a staple gun to somebody's nuts before.
Oh, I hate that.
Anyway, but yeah, dude, that match is on my list of match of the year candidates.
Yeah, definitely.
And I got to be honest, as we're getting ready for the 2023 Iggy Awards,
I've been thinking about it.
That one's going to get a lot of consideration.
There's a few good ones, though, just off the top of my head. Like the other day when I was thinking of them, like you got the triple threat match from Mania as well with McIntyre, Sheamus, Gunter. That was a great one. Yeah.
I'm still gonna, even though it's not gonna be anywhere near consideration, I still want to have the men's tag team showcase match from night one of WrestleMania on that because goddamn, that was fun.
Wasn't that the one where I was like, "Oh, what are you on about? This is going to be like the best match," and then the next day I was like, "Fair enough. That was probably the best match of the night."
Yep.
Yeah.
And I sat on the big red chair at Studio 1A, at Studio A, and was like, I hate to be the guy. I said, I told you. Actually, no, I don't.
Yeah. Maybe we need like a category for like underdog match of the year or something. Like just a
Yeah.
match you didn't expect much from, and obviously it wasn't top level, but damn, that was good.
You know what? Most fun match of the year.
Yeah.
Most fun match of the year. But yeah. And I'm what I'm really glad about it because in the past with the Iggy Awards, we've had to do AEW match of the year and everybody else match of the year. This year we don't have to do that.
Why would you do that?
No, it was a couple of years ago where, like, if we were going to do a top 5 of the best matches of the year, they would have all been AEW.
See, I've never really agreed with that though. I've kind of since the beginning of AEW, I feel like the match quality is way better now. Like, I feel like it's evolved so much because at the beginning it was just near fall after near fall, 25 finishers to put them away, and now there's like story to it all. Like it's so much better.
It's still like that, depending on who you actually have in the match.
Oh yeah.
If it's the Young Bucks or the Lucha Bros, then yeah, you're gonna have.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still being old man on the lawn about the Penta versus Orange Cassidy match where there was 4 consecutive Canadian destroyers.
Fucking hell.
And I'm like, this is the most goddamn ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. But anyway,
the Death Rider never puts anyone away the first goddamn time, man.
I know. It's
so rare,
the Death Rider is the attitude adjustment.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah.
But then
anyway,
again,
we're not here to talk about AEW. No, they don't have WrestleMania. Who the hell are they?
No. Yeah, exactly. Then again, I'm also not a fan of Jon Moxley, but that's a different story for a different time.
Same, in many ways. He's missing something still, and I thought he'd get it when he left WWE, but he hasn't found it.
I find him boring.
I like his mannerisms. I like a lot of the stuff he does.
Okay, cool. You know what? I have a lot of crazy mannerisms too. Why don't I have that fucking contract? Kiss my ass. Anyway,
surely you know what? He has that contract, and he's got his wife in the building. Can't you tell him stop wearing fucking sweatpants in the ring all the time?
Yeah, who do you think you are, Mick Foley?
Well, yeah, Mick Foley can get away with it. That's Mick Foley.
Right. Jon Moxley can't. Anyway, enough about that. We are talking about the road to WrestleMania. So here we are now, and we're asking each other one question. Starting right now, how would you book from here to WrestleMania?
So this is just for people. So this is 2nd of December onwards, from when we're recording, not from when you're watching this.
Or if you're stateside, 1st of December.
Good shout. Yeah.
International timeline, bitches.
Yeah, I'm in the future. Catch up.
Yes, you are. Time travel.
Oh shit! That means I'd be taking if we were born on the same day and the same year, and we were the same age. I would always be older than you because I wouldn't be. But I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm tired, so carry on. Continue. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, it would depend on because didn't we determine you guys are 6 hours ahead of us?
Something like that, yeah.
Because it's 9:53 here.
Well, yeah, it's coming up to 3 o'clock now, so. So no, 5 hours. No, 5 hours.
All right, okay. So if you were born at 5 p.m. and I was born at 10 p.m., we're the same age.
Yeah. We'll take out all the years, the many years in between.
Right. Anyway, so. So I'm going to give you a scenario. I'm going to give you a wrestler, and you tell me how you'd book it out, and then you give me one, and we'll go on, and I'll go on and on and on.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna we're just gonna get it out of the way.
Okay.
What are you doing with CM Punk?
Long run with R-Truth. Tag team.
Tag
No,
team?
no. I'm taking the piss. Okay, like, is this what we want or what we think? First of all.
A little bit of both.
Okay, I'm done with that. So I am okay with the idea now because they must be either setting up to Seth Rollins straight away or at Mania for me. I thought up until recently it was going to be at Mania. I've had my mind changed and I'll tell you why at the end. So I think the perfect way you can do it, I say, CM Punk goes into the Rumble. No. Yeah. So wait until Seth's going to wait for a bit. That's going to simmer away in the background.
Right.
So you put Punk in the Rumble, and he's just one of the people in the Rumble. And at the announce table, you have got your normal commentators and a special commentator for the night, the man who's won consecutive Rumbles, Stone Cold Steve Austin, because he's been talking about wanting to do stuff with CM Punk. So he's going to come out and be chatting shit because Punk's going to have already gone heel by this point. He's going to give it up in like a week or two. He's going to be like, "Oh, I'm not really here to be friendly. Screw you all." And then it will get to he'll keep saying stuff to Stone Cold outside, and he'll be in the ring. And after a bit, Stone Cold will be like, screw this. Give me a second. He's going to get up, run in the ring, give him a stunner, throw him out the ring, and then he'll go back to commentary. And then that'll set up a WrestleMania match between Stone Cold and Punk, and that's what will be like the night one main event. Because I think it's definitely going to be one of the main events. CM Punk will. I always feel like that's going to be like. And I'm only basing this on the reports as well that they've both been talked about it, and apparently WWE have actually pitched an idea between the two of them because they both want to do it. Apparently, well, Punk wants to. Stone Cold's thinking about it.
Right. See, I didn't think about that one in terms of Punk. What I did think was that the inevitability of Punk versus Rollins, which damn, that'll be a good match. And mine is simple. Drew wrestles Rollins at the Rumble for the title. Rollins retains, and Punk wins the Rumble.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's a much better way, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and honestly, in terms of that, I think I think they would do it, and I would do it that way because that's easy, cut and dried. You don't need any real story building in that. That's why I wouldn't have somebody else win his second consecutive Rumble.
Yeah. I don't think he will. I don't think Cody will win the Rumble, so I think there's a good chance Punk will win the Rumble. It makes sense.
To me, Cody can't win the Rumble because this whole thing, a lot of this, and what I think. So let's talk Cody.
We can transition to Cody.
Yeah, I think Cody obviously is still chasing Roman and chasing the end of the story.
Yep, same.
It doesn't make sense if we just hand it to him again.
Yep.
This reminds me a lot of when Shawn was chasing Undertaker for that second match, which ended up being Shawn's retirement match at WrestleMania 26. This reminds me a lot of that. And Cody's going to chase Roman and chase Roman and chase Roman, and he's not going to win the Rumble. And oh shit, what do I do now?
Yeah. He'll probably be like the last two or something.
Right. And that becomes the big story, is just the heartbreak of Cody didn't win the Rumble. Oh shoot, Punk picked Rollins. There's still a chance. What do I got to do? And
will they have like a recreate the AEW like Punk a steel kind of moment and have somebody kind of slap some sense into Cody, and then Cody decides, no, I'm going to go on a rampage?
No, I think
Okay.
it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of one of those moments where it's not like, oh my God, what do I do? Panic. It's literally okay. What do I do?
Yeah.
How do I make this happen? What do I have to do to get that match with Roman? Because the easy way isn't an option now
Yeah.
because I didn't win the Rumble.
I think that will work a lot better as well because we've seen enough of Soppy Cody.
Yeah. I've heard this said so many times since WrestleMania 39. Two simple words describing Cody's journey: hard times.
Yeah, so true.
And
He needs more adversity.
Exactly. Because more adversity gives fans more of a reason to cheer for him.
Mm-hmm.
That way, when he beats Roman at 40, because I'm sorry, no, The Rock isn't going to show up.
Wait, yeah, 40 this year. The next one is new.
Yeah, 40
Yeah.
40 is in April. Ironically enough, on my daughter's birthday.
Ah.
But when Cody beats Roman, I mean, they're going to be able to play the Rocky. They're going to be able
Yeah.
so many parallels about Rocky Balboa.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be able to. They have an opportunity to make this so unbelievably dramatic, and then Cody gets that emphatic win. Not like how Rocky beat Apollo and was the guy standing, when the referee counted to 10. It's going to be one of those where he hits like 17 crossroads, 3 Cody cutters, and then beats his ass with the bionic elbow.
Like kind of putting someone else into that same story as well, then I could see like maybe Jey Uso being involved in a lot of it, maybe because he's obviously coming up to a match against Jimmy at Mania.
I'm not even going to book that because I have heard in way too many interviews, both of the twins. It was an interview, one big interview they did with Chris Van Vliet, and they both said, this has been our dream since we were kids. The two of us against each other at WrestleMania. And if we're lucky, the guest referee is our dad.
Oh, I don't want to see that.
Oh, I would.
Have him on commentator or like enforcer or something like that.
No. Because it makes perfect sense. Because much like they did with Roman and Jey, tribal combat.
Yeah, I just don't want to see Rikishi having to try and get on the floor constantly and get back up and slide around. It'll take ages for a pinfall.
Shit, he'd still manage, even though he's as big as a semi truck. The man can still move.
He's pretty old now, though, ain't he?
So, man,
I don't know. I don't know what condition he's in. I'm just assuming, I guess. To be fair.
Okay, but even if he isn't the referee, it's still brother and brother tribal combat situation, much like it was Jey and Roman. And to me, there's no booking that because that's what they want. That has been their dream since they got into the business, is the two of us against each other at Mania.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, like the lead into that, like, because the story, Cody going against the Bloodline, probably trying to dismantle them maybe in this, effort to get the title shot. Maybe we'll need help, maybe his tag team partner, Jey Uso.
Assist from Jey. Okay,
and then imagine whatever the middle elimination chamber is here. No, that's in Australia or whatever now.
Yeah.
Or whichever's in the middle, that used to be No Way Out.
Right.
Imagine that night you could have Cody and Jey Uso versus Jimmy and Roman. Just as a little, like random match in the middle.
Right.
That'd be quite cool. Yeah. And if they win, then maybe Roman gets his match. Cody gets his match against Roman or something. Maybe a bit convoluted, but I like that.
Yeah. I That sounds a little convoluted to me, but ultimately at the end of the day, I think there's some dramatic reason for Cody to get the match. Like, the same kind of drama and emotion like when Kofi got the match against Daniel Bryan, or something of that nature.
Maybe he hangs like Paul Heyman off of a ledge, and he's like, "I'm gonna drop him." Or no, screw that. He's like, my old teacher told me a story. If you've got a problem, you just pull out a Glock, and if you don't give me that match, that's what Heyman's getting. Give me what I want.
They definitely wouldn't do that. But I mean, something of that nature. So let me ask you this: what do you do with Randy Orton?
A hard one any days.
I got one. For me, I think there's an easy answer to that. Drew.
Oh. He's going to SmackDown now, so I got a feeling he's going to stay on SmackDown now.
Doesn't matter.
Do you see him going heel or staying face then?
Oh, SmackDown doesn't have enough baby faces. I mean, who does SmackDown have as far as a baby face? Kevin Owens?
LA Knight?
LA Knight, Kevin Owens. And LA Knight, they're going to have LA Knight and Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah, I hope so, actually. That'd be great.
That would be.
That makes sense. You just book some more people there, and I love it.
Yeah. Oh, can I just say one thing? There is a match that, even though one guy's on Raw and the other guy's on SmackDown, at least I think, is Ricochet on Raw or SmackDown?
He's on Raw, isn't he? Because that's where his...
Yeah. Where's Samantha?
Samantha Urban, yeah, that's it.
Beyonce. They're not married yet.
Okay.
Please, WWE, find a way to give me Ricochet versus Dragon Lee.
Wow, okay.
Please.
You know what I want at WrestleMania, and they could be in this? A big ladder match again for a title. That's what I want. And they would be perfect in there. Perfect.
How about we incorporate a little NXT into this, and we have the ladder match for the North American title?
And that could be that's so much more likely to happen now with Triple H in control.
There's Dominic, there's Wes Lee, you get Dragon Lee in there, let's get Ricochet in there.
He's throwing Gargano again, because apparently that's all he does now. Just go back and do that. Aaron Grimes too. I don't really want them there.
So let me ask you a question. This may not have anything to do with Mania. When do you have Priest cash in the briefcase?
This is a really tough one now with Punk coming in, isn't it? Yeah.
Because personally, I thought when they were about to cash that in the middle of War Games, I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant.
I don't know how that would work though, because in other ones when they've done that turns the match for the title. So I'm really confused how that would have worked. Like, when Seth Rollins did it, he didn't create his own match. He got added.
Yeah. Well, what would have happened would have been both matches, in my interpretation, would have been happening simultaneously.
And if he didn't pin Seth, then he wouldn't have won it.
Right. Or, if Dominic pins Orton, that's the end of War Games, and that's also the end of Damien's shot.
Yeah.
But if Damien were to have pinned Rollins, then both matches end simultaneously. Judgment Day wins, and Damian Priest is the World Heavyweight Champion.
When was Money in the Bank? I'm forgetting now, because I know he has the year, obviously.
June?
So to be fair, he could wait, he could wait it out still past, because if Punk does go for the title at Mania, do you think he'll win?
It depends on if he's baby face or heel.
True. I hope he's a heel by then. I don't want to see
Probably.
more.
And also at the same time, you could easily turn Rollins heel.
Yeah, but he's so like popular at the moment, though, and it's like it just doesn't feel like the right time. You could easily make people boo.
Honestly,
Both.
I think having Rollins dropping it, I think is perfect. It's perfect time now. I don't think Rollins is nearly as hot as he was a couple of months ago.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, and he's always got the out as well of being hurt, etc. Which if he goes heel afterwards or something, he tries to go again. He could play off that as well. Yeah, you're not wrong, to be fair.
Right. For me, here's my opinion. Punk beats Rollins, and then the very next night, Priest cashes in on Punk. And now we have Punk versus Judgment Day.
That would be cool because it's still like the people when people always say about protecting him, etc. I don't really fully buy into that, but it does protect him as well then because it would be shenaniganeries with the Judgment Day.
One last one.
Mm-hmm.
What in the hell do you do with Mommy? Because I'm sorry, but at this point, Rhea Ripley's cleaned out the whole fucking women's division. Rhea Ripley is on the kind of run that Mike Tyson was on in the 80s, that MMA fighters like John Jones or Anderson Silva were in during their championship reigns in the UFC. I mean, Rhea Ripley has cleared out that division.
You say that though. We think about it. The main people she's had her defenses against, like Raquel Gonzalez, Rodriguez now. Sorry, I still prefer Gonzalez.
It's Raquel Rodriguez now. Yeah. Right.
There was I really struggled to think of the actual people. She who has she really had programs with?
Hasn't she beaten Becky?
She hasn't had a proper defensive program against Becky during this run. So to me, that's where you should take it because they kept them apart.
After what we saw at War Games, I don't think we're going to get Becky. I think what we're going to end up getting is I think Chelsea and Piper Niven lose the tag titles to Charlotte and Becky.
That's also a good shout, actually.
Because something else to think about. That's the only title Charlotte hasn't won yet.
Has she?
She's never won the tag titles.
It makes sense. I mean, who could really deal with a team with Charlotte Flair?
It would be Becky. I mean, especially after what we saw at War Games. I mean,
yeah.
Those two are back on the same page. So I mean,
yeah, it makes sense. Okay, then. So I still feel like there's another big one. I don't know. Actually, it's a really good point. See, there's not that many big stars in the women's division actually at the moment.
No.
Wait. What are we on about? Who is she going to go up against? We know exactly who she's going to go up against because of the Storm coming. Jade Cargill.
You're right.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know if that actually will happen though, because Triple H seems to be making out that she's not that ready because of the crap training she had. So I don't know if she'll put her on that stage straight away. I don't know. The only question.
Well, here's my thing is, granted, she had crap training in AEW, but we saw what she did with that crap training. I mean, She wasn't great, but, she still managed to have some somewhat serviceable matches. Imagine what she's going to do with the training she gets in the Performance Center.
Yeah, she's a great athlete.
I've said this ever since she signed with WWE. I'm terrified to see what we get from her with 6 months of training in the Performance Center.
Yeah, man.
Because the Performance Center will turn her into a goddamn monster.
Yeah. Because it wasn't Bianca Belair as well. Because I always think of Bianca Belair with her as well because I've got the similar jacked body type, you know.
Oh
Obviously,
my
Jade's
God.
taller than that, though. She's even bigger than Bianca.
If we
But
get, if first off we get Jade versus Bianca or Jade versus Mommy, then I have one certain rule for this match, and I think you guys all know what I'm going to say. First chick to die loses.
see, that's what, like, with what they managed to do with Bianca for somebody who had like no wrestling training, was, you know, one from the indies. You can see what they can do. But I think I kind of just talked myself out of it in my head, though, because I don't think there is any way she loses, the Ripley loses. And there's no way, in my opinion, that Jade Cargill will lose straight away at Mania. So
No.
for that reason, I don't think it will happen, actually.
Right now, in my opinion, the hottest champion that WWE has is Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley might be one of the 2-3 biggest stars in the company.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean,
100% agree with that.
definitely the biggest female star in the company. But I honestly think
Yeah.
she's right up there with Cody and Punk.
I mean, you know what? Going from what you said, actually, though, if, say, it happened quite early, Becky and Charlotte take the titles away from Chelsea and Piper, it would be really interesting to see them really build up Piper as a proper monster that she could be. Maybe Chelsea could be manager level with her and go against her. That could be interesting.
From an entertainment perspective, I'd rather see Chelsea.
Well, why don't we just
Chelsea
have a big multi-woman like ladder match or something? There you go.
Chelsea is so good in the ring, but that character, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
First off, she's fantastic in the ring. Second off, she is 10 tons
Hilarious.
of 10 tons of beautiful.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just the character, I'm just like, you are like one of the most punchable people I have ever seen in wrestling. And that's saying a lot.
Great, man.
So,
And I love the idea as well of her, you know, like teaming with like a big brutish character. Like it worked perfectly with who was she with before that got injured? It's going out of mind now. When she first came in,
Sonya Deville.
was it Sonya Deville?
It was Sonya
Okay,
Deville.
yeah. Oh, I like her. She needs to come back. I've always been a big fan of her.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think
She-
I think she ripped the shit out of her knee.
Oh, okay.
So she's gonna be out. She's gonna be out for a little while longer.
I feel like we're missing like some really obvious name that could go against Rio. I really do. There's something I feel like we're missing someone. Is there anyone good in NXT who could come up and they could build up over like? No.
Honestly and truly, the only person, in my opinion, it wouldn't make sense for her. I mean, she's a phenomenal athlete and she'll be great. But I don't think putting Rhea Ripley, who is a heel, in the ring with another heel like Tiffany Stratton, that doesn't work either. But there's no.
Oh, she is good actually, though, ain't she?
Oh,
Tiffany
she's
Stratton.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But heel versus heel, nobody's gonna give a shit.
But at the same time, though, Mummy's one of those, you know, she gets cheered more than most baby faces. So.
Oh, she is. I mean,
know.
but people boo her because she is a heel, but people love to boo her because she's just freaking fantastic. In my opinion, she's the best right now. She's the best women's wrestler on the planet.
Yeah, she's the glue that holds Judgment Day together. I don't know if I'd say the best women's wrestler on the planet.
Oh, I don't think anybody touches her right now.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking more like, you know, than like general skill, like just all around skill. I don't know if she's the most technical, but
overall package. She's not technical. She's a bruiser.
Okay. You put it like that, then yeah.
It's
hard to argue.
She is the best in-ring performer in women's wrestling across the globe.
Okay, I agree with that, actually. Yeah.
I don't think anybody touches her. And here's the terrifying thing of it all. This is going to be one of my last points because we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
She's not even close to being 30 years old.
Yeah, not even she like 26 or something.
She's in her mid-20s. Jesus Christ. we have at least another 10 years of Rhea
Well,
Ripley.
I mean, I'm not even saying this like as a sexist thing or anything, but realistically, she's in a relationship with Buddy, so there's a good chance she might have a kid or two, like over those
This
next
is
10
true,
years.
yeah. Oh,
But
speaking of really pretty women's wrestlers and having kids, congratulations to Alexa Bliss.
there's 3 of them right now, isn't there? Alexa Bliss has had a baby. Carmella's had a baby, and who's the other one? Tay Mello and Sammy Guevara had their baby.
Tay Mello's is having a baby, and Carmelo
No, they've had
had
it.
hers a
They
few
had the
months ago.
baby the other day.
Yeah, Carmelo and Graves had their baby a few months ago,
Yeah,
and Alexa Bliss had hers within the last 2 days.
that's what I mean. Tay Mello as well within the last 2 days.
Oh, really? I didn't know she had.
Yeah.
I didn't know she had that she delivered.
Yeah. Literally
nice.
yesterday or the day before.
Wow.
Yeah, her and Alexa Bliss, it might have even been the same day. Like, now I'm remembering it. Because I remember it was on my feed. And I remember thinking it was strange that, like, there was a video for Tay Mello, and it was just a picture I saw for Alexa Bliss. So it might have been the same day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that being said, I think we're going to get out of here because honestly and truly, it is late for KD and late for me. And it's
That was a lovely note to end on, so.
Yes. Appreciate you guys. Brian and KD will be in next week because next week is date night for me and me and the Queen of Pittsburgh, as we'll affectionately refer to her on the show. I've been trying to come up
Just
with
when you're with her, don't make out like you're forgetting what her name is for a moment, though.
Oh no, I totally know what her name
Yeah.
is, but she needed a nickname for the show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've been struggling with it for a year to try and come up with a name for her. So
The mistress
I'm like,
of patience.
I'm like,
She's
wait
with
a
you,
minute.
so.
She's from Pittsburgh. She's the Queen of Pittsburgh.
Oh.
There you go.
Pittsburgh patience.
Yeah, there you go. So
Can't say that though. I don't know about you. I just forgot. Okay.
So for Katie, for Brian, for everybody else associated with this wonderful, crazy show, my name's Patrick. Thanks for watching Wrestling with Egos. This is why we love wrestling. And always remember, chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe.
And then go on to KD Comedy to check out my stuff too. KD Comedy Podcast. Much love, everybody. Take care.
Wabba-doo.
Wabba-doo-doo. Yeah.